Okay, we're starting.
It was like
play the music.
It was like, hi pro, how are you? And then it turned into shut up, Arthur.
Right.
So
it did.
Arthur, he just he brings out the bad in John.
Who does?
Yeah, I think it's Arthur's fault if I.
Oh, Arthur.
Because I was
Damn it.
nice around, bro.
Yeah, I think so. It's because I'm the one that holds the ranks, so Jono's always gonna have this attitude.
I'm
to me.
sorry, Arthur. You know I love
It's
you.
the hierarchy. He's so rebellious, you know. He's such a metalhead.
Speaking of that, have you seen Parasite, Arthur?
Can you be? I'd have to see a picture of what it looks like. Either I added it to my videos
Parasite.
once, or I've seen it. I think I probably just.
No, the Korean movie. The last one. 2019 Parasite.
No, host. I just watched a Korean zombie movie lately. Oh, I forgot to mention that. Was pretty good.
Train to Busan?
Yeah, very good movie. No, I am talking about this one. The director is the same director of the host. Yeah.
What's the
That's
name
an
of that
Oscar.
zombie one, Jono?
Train to Busan.
Nice. So Parasite is the same, and is it good?
Same director. I loved it. I fucking
Really?
loved it when I
Cool.
saw it the other day. It's awesome.
Let me just ask: is it sort of a invasion or alien invasion kind of thing?
No. I don't want to. I don't
Okay,
want
don't
you
spoil
to
it.
spoil anything
Cool.
because you're talking about the interview of the movie. Basically, spoils you the first half. So you just have to see for yourself.
Are we okay on YouTube, guys?
No.
Still haven't received any notification.
Wait,
And
what?
John Hogan Monster still appears as the best and latest Monstercast.
Please be quiet.
We're live somewhere.
No, maybe the other guy, the other channel. No.
Welcome to
Something
World of
about
Monsters,
you,
or
Arthur. I think we are live on the Creative Equinox channel of Planet of Creatures.
How dare you?
How
Oh,
dare you?
I am talking about some good
Um,
stuff for your channel, bro.
Be
Damn
quiet,
it,
John.
YouTube. Says we're live. Yeah, we should be live. We're live, right, Pro?
No, I'm not
No.
getting anything.
That
No.
is weird. Okay.
Okay.
What the hell? I had my YouTube thing closed, but it still has the right encoder and key. So should have worked. Okay, just a sec here. Let's exit this. The hell, record. Starting stream. Now it says
Yeah.
stream resumed. So we're live, right?
Yes, now we are.
Jono sees me. Do you see me, Pro?
Yes.
Don't answer for Pro, Jono.
Quality is bad. Where's the 4K, Arthur? Why is it 480p?
I asked
damn
the
it.
same question today.
Damn.
Monster
We won't
Stream.
be able to experience full
Sweet.
high quality.
Thank you, Dio.
monster.
Ooh, a nice one, Dio. I don't know. I'm gonna have to pull both of those. Let me know which one you
the
guys like
carpet
more
is
as the
bits, eh,
emoji.
oh.
Pro and Jono, which one do you like more as the emoji? The one with the lighting
No, the
eyes
The first
or
one.
No, the normal one.
normal?
That one is
The
more. That one is
bit
more
badly
for memes, etc. But for
Gotcha.
a proper emoji, the normal one is better.
All right, guys. We are live. Welcome to the Monsterhood Monstercast. This is the Voices of the Monsterhood channel connected to the World of Monsters official channel. Today we're going to be talking about monster cults. This is Monstercast number 67. If you can hear me clearly and see us clearly, then give me a huzzah in the comments, please.
Please, Arthur. Where's the full HD quality?
Hey, Jono.
No, for
I'm going to
no,
have
for
to
real.
say it's time soon,
this-
and then I guess it's going to have to be me. So now, today we're talking about monster cults, but before we get started, we're going to cover some, because every week we have a monster challenge here that is run by Donde for all you creatives out there and creators, where Donde creates a challenge every month. It's not necessarily a contest. We just review at the end of he gives a topic for the month. At the end of the month, we review it. He reviews it first, and we review it live in the Monstercast. We look at everybody's submissions and discuss our favorites, and why.
Damn. I hope Grifo has finished that John Hogan.
The creations can be write-ups, they can be drawings, they can be songs, whatever you create. So we're going to get started with that in a moment. Welcome, OCD. In our chat here, we have Curtis, Catwitch, Super OCD. We have Donde, Darth Phoenix, Dio, JMPF, John Ham, Pro, Redacted, which is Bago, and Wendigo, our newest member here today. And over on YouTube, we have, so far we got some duplicate personalities watching this. Sweet. So say hello, everybody, and welcome.
Hello, everybody. Welcome.
Beautiful. Love it. Love doing these. So before we get started on monster cults and how we discuss monsters here, we dig deep into it. Everybody shares. So for example, with monster cults today, everybody's going to be sharing something, some kind of lore, and we'll be exploring that. But again, before we get started, I'm going to hand it off to Donde to start presenting us with the challenge submissions. And also, our setup's a little bit different because I'm on a newer computer. By next week, we should be back to our original nice format here on YouTube in the appearance.
What are the specs for your new PC, Arthur? Can you?
I'll take a picture of it for you. So now it's Donde's turn to. Yeah, so Donde, tell us about the challenge, what it was, and show us the submissions.
Yes, today's monthly challenge was Monsters of Love because it was Valentine's Day month. And the first one I posted is JMPF's monster he made.
Sweet. And welcome, hola JMPF. He's over here today live too. So
he has it called the Lover's Blood. It can be found inside the deep jungles of Borneo. Most of it stays underground with just a big flower. The flower has a humanoid part that's not very convincing. However, it releases pheromones which compel male humans to kiss it, a big mistake, because it has a paralyzing venom, so the victim can't avoid being trapped and digested by the plant.
I love it. I love something simple and realistic like that. Like, he made it clear that it has a humanoid look to it, but it's not very convincing. And then it releases that pheromone, which entices them and involves the poison. Pretty awesome. I love that we have a plant monster. We don't get enough of them sometimes. Yeah, any thoughts, guys? Lover's Blood. Cool. Darkus is here. Welcome, welcome.
Hey, Darkus.
Any other thoughts, guys, on the JMPF submission? No? I could totally see this in some lore. I would like to see this kind of stuff in games. For example, are you listening, Pro?
Yes.
Caught him off guard. Off guard when he doesn't want to hit the voice button. For example, like in MMO games, right? Online games, you have all this stuff you have to kill and grind and stuff to get to your next level. But it would be cool to just have some things like this in the land that you just go explore and click on. But it's not just another fight, though. You just get curious and then it hurts you. And you just slap it and you don't get experience and you kill it. But just random things like that would make a world so much more real and, breathing. Rather than everything just being another monster that gives you experience a lot or a little. You know what I mean? Yes, you know what I mean, I guess. Right, Jono? Nobody wants to talk to me. This is why I like having
Like
Chris around.
harvest the pheromones, like love
Hey.
potions.
What did you say?
Like what if like people try to harvest the pheromones like love potions or something?
Right. Like another thing we have in MMO games other than mobs is we do have plants. And usually we either gather plants or we cut trees. But if we had plants like this that like they harm you a little bit, you don't get anything for killing it, but you can still harvest it for like the pheromones or whatever. You know, that makes the world so much more real. So thank you, JMPF, for the inspiration. I really like this idea. All right, Dande. Let's go with the next one.
The next one is from Raincrawler. He posted a bunch of.
I think Dande cut off there a little bit. He posted a bunch, I think you said.
Yeah.
Raincrawler had a good one, a good story here.
Yeah, this one was a story or a monster that came with it.
Mm-hmm. You can tell us a summary of it if you want, if you remember.
From what I read, it was this person, I guess, died and wasn't able to say goodbye to her lover. But for unknown reasons, she returned to the land of the living, and every day she begins to rot, and her hair falls off, her skin falls off, pretty much turning to dust until she finds him, and the guy says he still loves her, and
Yeah.
I don't know, kiss each other, and she gets to say her goodbye before finally disintegrating.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So I guess the difference or the tale is she gets to say that goodbye. Yeah, that was pretty neat when I was reading through it. It was hooking me, definitely. It reminded me of something, maybe something from a little bit of your comic there too, Dante, of one of your comics. Just that scene there, but something similar. It's just a cool concept of, you know, dying and coming back to the living just so you can say that goodbye in case you'd have that untimely death. So yeah, well done, Raincrawler. Any other thoughts? Anybody else? Nope. Okay. All right. Next one, Dande.
I thought it was interesting because usually you put like a lore of a monster. He actually put like where the monster was human and it wanted to say goodbye to somebody.
Yeah.
So it's a very
Right.
easy read. I think for people to read.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what caught me. It was very approachable and flowed nicely, and then, yeah, just grabbed you with the images right away. Because at the beginning, I didn't realize I was reading something for the challenge. You know, I was just reading it, and usually, like, not often do I read something too much in the creator because there's a lot of lore you guys put up sometimes, especially Griffin. But I just started reading that, and then I realized, oh, this is for the challenge. So yeah, well done on that. It's simple but nice and concrete. It works.
The last one I have to share is mine. It's called a Catfish Person, and its main objective is to catfish people so it can take them and breed with them.
Who did this?
Sweet. This is Dande's.
Oh, like this one.
So again, what does it do, Dande? What's its thing?
It will make up its own personality online, usually looking for people that are looking for love, and then it will lure them in to go to wherever they're at, and then it'll use sort of telekinesis to make them think they're seeing the person, but in reality they're actually taking them and using them to fertilize their eggs, or taking their eggs and fertilizing them so they can
Nice.
reproduce, and then they disappear and break up with them, never to be seen again.
Yeah, I like this.
So it's all about the breeding and survival aspect of it.
But do they look like actual catfish people?
Yeah. That's pretty awesome because it's totally a monster of the new millennium and very like fantasy because I mean these things go on the computer, as Donde said, they go online, right? So
Yeah, they catfish people while at the same time looking like catfish people.
that's awesome. I just want to imagine one of these like using a laptop and where do they get them? And are they just in our society or do they live by their lakes and they get their technology there somehow? That's a whole fascinating world this could bring up, this little tidbit. Oh, that's fun. All right. Any thoughts, guys? Jono, you like the fishy aspect?
I like this monster. Yes,
Cool.
I am.
GMPF, what did you say?
How someone figure out that it's actually a catfish person, not an actual person?
I would have liked it more if it was catfish, because I like fish.
I like fish. So,
Just as much as I like trains.
That'd be pretty weird.
yeah, that'd be pretty
There's
cool.
something fishy about this whole thing.
Yes, there is. I do smell something. Yeah, it'd be interesting if people start finding out because they still have that illusion. They can still create that illusion around themselves. It's just a wonder what creates that illusion and how tiring, or is it?
The enemy amongst us.
Yeah.
That would cause a
This
huge...
Is there a limit
reminds
to
me
it?
of the Love, Death, and Robots episode, Beyond the Aquila Rift, where basically this happens. But
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's probably one of the worst episodes.
I
would
see.
say.
I see. I still have to check that out.
Love, Death, and Robots.
Cool. So it's a little like the reptilian thing, but we got fish people, and they're not quite as malevolent, but they do have to
The
survive.
monster is cool though.
All right, guys. So sweet. That's an awesome monster. I need to check out that show. Apparently,
Yeah, no, the show has tons and tons and tons of awesome monsters.
cool. Yeah, I think I'll have to relate some videos to it. Yeah, for sure.
It's on Netflix. Episodes are usually 15
Yeah.
minutes long, so
Sure.
you should check it.
Probably better than. I don't want to bring up that conversation, but do you enjoy it more than Witcher?
You mean TV series over
Yeah.
literature? Yes. I mean, not TV series because I'm not a TV series person that much.
Yeah.
I am much more fond of movies, but yes, I find visual entertainment much more pleasant and accessible rather than literature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So we'll finish up with this monster challenge. Thank you once again, Donde. I'm gonna share my thoughts overall, which one I liked and why, and Donde and anybody else as well, especially in voice or in text. If you can share your thoughts as well, which Valentine's love creation you like the most. So I'm gonna say, I think JMPF's hit me at the beginning as far as the biological aspect and realism and science and just adding in the spiel I got into. I think that hit me as most inspiring personally for me today. I give the little bit of creative work behind and right up to Raincrawler, as that was really nice to read, and he did a little comic on it, basically. You have the close up on the hand and all that. And then just for monstrous cool creation, we gotta give it to Donde. That's from my
Speaking
end.
of comics, when is the John Hogan standalone comic to be released? I hope there are plenty of John Hogan monsters there.
Donde, legally, you are not required to answer that question. So, Donde, your thoughts on these submissions this month?
They're very creative. Like no one stuck to like the general succubus or incubus type thing.
Exactly. Yeah, for
Unless you
sure.
count Pro's monster that he may or may not wanted to share.
What was Pro's monster?
I shall not say it.
Oh, really?
I think we have an idea of what it would be.
What is he doing? He's playing Temtem. What the hell is Temtem? Jono, can you go and slap Pro with a piece of pizza?
No, I won't.
Damn it.
Because Pro is always stand by my side.
Aw. And who? What the hell? Pro stands by your side. I made you Slayer when everybody was arguing.
That's the point.
Well, damn it, Pro.
That
We need to hear what yours was, Pro.
Remember that me and Pro are Steam.
Yeah.
You don't even have a Steam account.
Yes, I do. Yay,
I want
Pro's
to say
listening,
that
though.
I
That's
just
good.
ate Pizza.
You're good, Pro. Just was curious what your submission would have been. Anybody else want to share their thoughts? Which one they like them? Oh boy, which one they like the most?
Dan is one. Also, Dan, can you please answer that very serious question? I wonder that every day of my life.
Donde's smarter than that. See, this is why Donde is the real
I think
Slayer here.
he is working so hard that
Yes.
he needs time to process things.
Yep. Exactly. How about you, OCD? You're active and conscious here. Which submission did you enjoy?
I think I just really like the plan one. It's an interesting idea.
The which one?
The plant one, the flower, lover's flower.
It's very acceptable as far as reality for us, I think, out of these. Actually, there's nothing really fantastic about it. That's the cool thing, too. It's very cryptid-like.
I really like predatory plants. They're really interesting.
Agreed. And it would be cool to imagine what it would look like. I mean, if we didn't develop cities as we did, who knows where nature would evolve with us and adapt. And maybe eventually, if we would be living in jungles still and develop a different way, maybe after hundreds, thousands of years, we would start to see plants like this. It's very, very possible, very believable. So I do enjoy that aspect. Jono, like the fishy one. What's up, Donde?
It could happen in the future.
Mm-hmm. Who else we got here? We have Redact Bago. Did you prefer any of them? Did you see them? And then you guys in chat.
I think I'd have to go with the plant one as well.
Plant one.
I'm
All right.
partial to plant monsters. Don't see enough of those, as you said.
Sweet. Yeah, definitely. We love those plant monsters. Love fishy stuff too. I'm curious with the fishy one. It's like, because I'm wondering, because Dante, you mentioned
more rooted in reality. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it definitely is. With Dandes, they breed with humans, so it's always pretty much a fish, whatever they're called, monster here, breeding with a human, but the children, the offspring, still appear to be these fish things. So it seems like somehow the genetics played down to where we're not getting hybrids anymore, just this full hybrid. So who knows, maybe after time of these things breeding, their offspring will become either more fish or more human, right? But that makes sense too, why they are humanoid, because their counterpart that they breed with is always human. So that's just an interesting aspect too, and a timeline of it, because I can't see them.
What they look like before.
What's that? This is what they look like before, you mean?
Oh, no, who knows what they looked like before?
Right, originally. Yeah, so it's like an evolving species, it seems, right, by itself, and to where the original species itself was already a host, dependent on breeding with other species, particularly human. So what does that original one look like? That's the mystery, but because of evolution and adaptation, it will never return probably to that unless they find a way to breed with themselves or catfish. So it's interesting, the whole timeline. So that's, definitely. Cool. All right, let's move on. That was awesome. We only really need 3 submissions, and we couldn't go off on it for a while. But I enjoy it. When are you going to announce the next challenge, Dante?
Probably Monday or Tuesday this coming week.
Sweet. Watch out for it, guys. It's going to be exciting. These are awesome. I wish we had a wall or somewhere to collect these. Maybe I'll make a cavern for you, Donde, where we can drop off all the submissions, all the original submissions to these challenge. I'll probably try to do it soon if I do, so that you can collect all that stuff before it gets lost in, text. Do you think that's a decent idea, Donde? What do you guys think? I mean, it's another cavern.
It sounds good because they do get buried from monsters'
Yeah.
cavern.
And it's quite a lot of work that people put into it that doesn't get any, exposure otherwise. So, all right. If I forget to do, remind me someone to do that. Dio's pushing it. I'm just kidding, Dio. I stop now. Arthur says the thing. Here we go. Let's start with our discussion. So today we're talking monster cults. I do have one in mind that I'd like to learn a little bit more about that I think somebody will probably bring up, but seeing as Chris and C are not here, I doubt it will be brought up. So we'll see. Jono mentioned something about real cult because he must have understood a joke or something. But I did want to start off because I don't have a cult to talk about today. And this could be a cult that worships monsters, or a cult made of monsters, or a cult created by monsters, or monster. So that's monster cults. The cult I wanted to shout out that Jono made me think of, or not cult, but religion, more or less, is Scientology. And I didn't think about this, and I didn't think about any, except for the one I wanted someone else to mention because I want to learn more about. It's Warhammer base. You guys can imagine what it is easily if you know me. But the cult I wanted to mention real quick that's reality-based, I guess, is Scientology, because the monstrous portion of Scientology is that they actually worship an alien, which I don't scoff at. I find it more... for me, it's more acceptable than a lot of other religions and following a god or something like that, because to us, more advanced species would be gods. And so in that sense, it makes sense. Didn't want to use the word sense twice or thrice now.
As I see things, Arthur, yeah, remember that famous
Tom
RP.
Cruise.
Adrian's going to save Arthur. But
so probably I've supported him, pro.
The fact is, Scientology basically just made obvious and public the fact that they exploit people of money. But that's basically what every other organized religion does.
Right. So that's nothing new.
That's not different from any other religion.
At least we can give them credit that they exposed it proudly instead of hiding it like others, I guess. So as far as religions go, it's nothing over the top, or I mean, there's some things, some cultish things, that you see in Mormonism. I mean, Mormonism, LDS is basically a cult. And there's other ones, but we're not going to get into that. But the reason why I did bring up Scientology is it does have that alien aspect at the top. And that is interesting, to say the least. So that is, I'll refer to as my monstrous cult shout out for today. I'd like to go deeper into it, but I don't want to get distracted with other religious talk. But I do think it's a very fascinating topic, and I wouldn't mind having a conversation with a Scientologist and such. So anyway, any thoughts on that from anybody? 3, 2, we're pretty dead today. Thank you, Dio, for at least keeping it live in the comment section, Dio, on Discord. It seems we're pretty quiet on YouTube. I'm really afraid that Louis didn't find us. Because I know Louis missed us last week. Let me see on Facebook real quick. You guys think what you're going to present for your monster cults, and I'll get back to you soon.
The Epsilon program was also on the GTA San Andreas.
Oh, and Louis did have something to share too. Go ahead, Jono, since you're speaking, do you want to share your share for today's cult?
Yes.
Your Agalot cult?
Yeah, the cult. I told you I am going to talk about the cult of Adria. Now, but real talking now. Wait a second, gotta find the proper picture.
Cool.
But
We lack pictures.
can't find the proper image from the movie. I'm just going to. Well, no, fuck. I don't have a speech prepared for this, but basically, what
No
I'm
worries.
going to talk about is the cult of Mothra. Don't know why the image isn't loading, because as it's known, especially in the Japanese era, Godzilla movies and Mothra standalone movies, Mothra is worshipped by these little tiny fairies called the fuck were their names? Fuck, got Shinamura something. No, forget it. Basically, there's this whole cult because it's later developed that basically Mothra is this kind of protective kaiju. I think it was the first kaiju to be 100% benevolent. She truly protects mankind, unlike others like Godzilla, who's anti-hero. Mothra is 100% good. Yeah, there's this whole cult. Sorry if I this unprepared on this because
It's
I
okay.
haven't
It's
had
okay. I can
any
ask you
speech.
questions if you want, and then you can answer that
Mm.
if you want to help on that.
Mhm.
Okay, so
Yeah, go ahead. I'm not a big fan of Mothra, so I'm
right.
not that.
But I'm
well
glad you
into
brought it up
Yeah,
because
thanks,
sometimes I
Tom.
wonder if you're a true kaiju fan, and
Yeah,
to see
I'm just
people-
not. Mothra is
Mhm.
one of my least favorite kaijus, so
Okay.
I'm not that into. I haven't seen the Mothra movies. Yeah.
So first of all, why is this? How did this come about being a cult? Because I know there's these two twin like fairy things. I don't know much about
Yeah,
the
but
lore myself.
I don't remember. I think it was in the first Mothra versus Godzilla from 1962. It actually shows a full cult. I mean, the Shojin, Shobijin, what their name is. It actually shows they're basically the fairies. They are the basically priestesses
Mhm.
who talk to her, but there's a whole cult of people who worships her, just like the people who worship Megalon in Godzilla vs. Megalon.
Okay. So these two priestesses, they talk to Mothra, but what are they to her? To it, they didn't create it, right? But
No,
are they?
no, no,
They're
no.
not human.
Mothra-
What are they themselves? What are the priestesses? Are they just a magical?
It's not explained. They are just these two tiny people because they are very short, like tiny. They're like fairies. They're basically this cult that live on Infant Island, where Mothra is the protector of the island. The fact with kaiju movies is that there is little given to origin and
Mhm.
backstory, especially in the old ones. And with series getting rebooted, they change the origin every time. I mean, Godzilla's had like 20 origins, so it depends. As far as I remember, Mothra is just Earth protector. It's the manifestation of Mother Earth, basically. Her duty is to protect the planet from any
Nice.
other evil
That's
soul.
awesome. So, and then how did the cult start? So the cult is just a bunch of people that follow Mothra and the priestesses?
No, they basically just worshipped her because she protects
Oh,
her
I
island.
see. Okay. Okay. Because she's Mother
And
Earth in a sense.
they basically the two summon her when summon her when there's need, and I think by singing they can make the hatching happen much faster. But it depends, of course, on the movie.
Mhm.
For example, in the first movie, in the 1962 one, they appear and try to convince humans to not exploit Mothra's egg because they find her egg on a beach, and basically, of course, people try to monetize them. This bureaucrat wants to exploit the money for the egg for
Nice.
stuff like that. And so the fairies appear and try to
Mhm.
convince the protagonist to stop all this. Then Godzilla starts attacking, and they start singing, and basically.
Nice. That's beautiful, Jono. Proud of you.
Thanks.
Made
Then you
us
say
all
that
very
of the
emotional.
First layer.
So, I like that they brought that aspect of it into the movie where they're trying to exploit the creature and all that. I like that realism approach they added. All right. Was the cult existent in the first movie the first time they showed Mothra?
Yes, I mean the
It was.
fairies were.
Okay.
I don't remember if Mothra has appeared in another movie before appearing against Godzilla. I think the
Yeah.
first Mothra movie, yeah, it's from 90.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't watched it, but I think there are the Shobins there.
Nice.
Yeah, there are. They are there. Yeah, there.
Cool. Yeah, that's a really good idea that they jumped on, obviously, and that's why there's so many fans of Mothra and they made exclusive movies of Mothras. But because I was thinking maybe the clan of Mothra rose after the first movie later when it already gained some fans. But the cool thing is, no, there was already a cult in the story, so that made it even stronger and more people follow it. And yeah, pretty cool concept all around, actually, for Mothra. I can respect that.
Basically, there are a lot of kaijus who have a cult base. Basically, there's Mothra, there's Megalon, King Caesar is worshipped.
Mm.
In the Monsterverse, it is seen that even Godzilla has been worshipped by some ancient civilization. Yeah, King Kong, of course, is. I mean, depends.
Yeah.
King Kong is not a kaiju. I mean, I see King Kong is a kaiju, but
Ooh, Jono's answering that question. Yeah, that video I made. I kind of came to a conclusion, not
yeah,
fully.
it depends. For example, Skyline King Kong, yes, it's kind of a kaiju.
Yeah,
not
the
original,
Japanese
but yeah.
one is a kaiju
Yeah,
because it had an extra
also-
ability, I would say. It had that
Yeah.
electric thing that I mentioned.
He gets the electricity power just because
Mhm.
the plot demanded it in order to defeat Godzilla. Because at the time, Godzilla was still evil, while Kong was more sympathizing towards human. So they
Right.
made him win. I hope it doesn't happen again in the next one. I truly hope. I don't want any plot armor and shit.
Pros flirting with you,
so-
Jono.
No.
Nice. Slayer ignoring. Good job. That's Slayer work.
Yeah.
Jono's not falling for it.
You know how's the skin is, bro.
Pro, come on in. Miss you. So, okay, let's go to the next person. Thank you, Jono, for sharing the cult. What is the cult called?
No, there is no name.
Okay, so Cult of Mothra.
Don't remember if I have any other picks, so yeah, I'm just doing.
Sweet. Okay, guys, so far, if you're joining in late, we covered...
Mothra's cult. Isn't it called something?
If somebody can Google it quick, we can find out.
What? I haven't.
And welcome, Raincrawler. We did check out your... That was Raincrawler, right? Your submission. I did read it earlier, too, before today.
Well,
we enjoyed it.
The Church of the Eternal Fire, it's basically just a parody of the Christian religion, but it doesn't mention any kind of monster.
I see. All right, Jono. Do you want to shout out the next person to share today? And please, guys, let us know if the volumes are balanced. I will adjust it if you let me know, because this is the first time running the Monstercast on this computer.
Okay. I will just do so, but I won't choose. I will let the same wheel you use, Arthur. So let's add Arthur.
I don't know what you're saying, Jono. Can you select the next
I
person
am
to share?
using the wheel.
Oh, you are? Okay. That's awesome.
Arthur.
There's no proof.
Arthur.
It just has my name on it.
Apple wheel chain. Let's see.
But I already shared.
And yeah, Arthur is the one who has to talk.
Okay, so I'll choose someone. I already shared. Mine was Scientology. Well,
Oh.
I'll mention the one I wanted someone to talk about. I just didn't want to steal it from somebody, so I'll just wait until the end of the Monstercast. I'm pretty sure Chris would talk about it. If anybody can guess what I'm talking about, I'll give you a watermelon.
The cult Necrons worship?
No. That would be more for C.
Church of the Broken God, or its counterpart. I forgot the name of the other one.
Not sure. Don't think so. Okay, I'm gonna shout the next person out. Let's see. Let's do someone in the late time zone in case they're tired. Super OCD.
Pro is the one ahead because
She's
she
on the
doesn't
top.
change time because he is weak.
Get ready, Pro. Super OCD, are you there? Do you have anything you wanted to mention today for Monster Cults?
I don't really have a think myself, but I think Cult of Cthulhu. I don't actually know much about it, but heard of that.
Yeah, that's something I'd like to dig deeper into, but that's something I know a bit more about, and I think it's pretty plain, I mean, in your face what it is, right? You're worshipping these Lovecraftian deities.
It's kind of harder, because I'm not that much into the Lovecraft universe yet. In my library, and yet read them. Very lazy, but yeah, people worship Cthulhu, but it's because he basically dwells into your mind, makes you crazy. You basically have to think about it. It's like just me thinking about John Hall all day, because he is in my mind. I have no control over my body. I need to think about John Hall 24 hours a day.
I don't know how in this Cthulhu matter you still mention John Hamm somewhere.
I think that.
I'm not
One of
sure.
the old gods.
You've got me puzzled.
Yeah, just read the lyrics to Into the Painted Grey. He says, "For I am not an ageless, I am just imprisoned by time, and when the universe dies, the universe will die with me."
Magus.
So, he is one of Lovecraftian creature.
So, Super OCD on more serious matters that aren't ham related, because ham isn't the number one food in the world. I recommend this to everybody and anybody. If you want to see a good Lovecraftian movie, OCD, I'd recommend Dagon.
I've heard of him. He's cool.
Yeah, and the movie's awesome. It's not very Dagon-ish, but it's just an awesome little horror movie. It starts and it just keeps going until the end. It doesn't stop, and it's not too long of a movie. I really enjoy it. I can watch it anytime. It does have rewatchable value just because of how quick it runs. It's not shitty like a lot of American, because I don't think it's an American horror either, but a lot of, low budget American horror. It's not about jump scares and shit like that. It's good, it's fun, it's a fun ride, and yeah, guys, it's Dagon. I would say it's probably my favorite. I haven't seen many Lovecraftian films, but I'd have to say it's probably my favorite. In the Mouth of Madness is a little bit Lovecraftian, but not enough to really consider it so. So I would say this, just because I really know maybe one movie that's Lovecraftian, really. Dagon, guys. You got to check it out. Jono, I think you'll really like Dagon, too, as the whole idea of Cthulhu and I mean, Lovecraftian stuff is ocean-based, so it's water. Yeah, check it out, Jono. I'll check out Parasite. So I guess the cult is more or less they worship these deities, these Lovecraftian deities, and in the process, of course, these deities are real. So they also breed, just like in old scripts they say the gods bred with humanity, right, with men, and that's what they do, and that's what you see at the end of Dagon 2. I hope that didn't spoil anything. But so we get these hybrid forms that are kind of fish humans, right? That walk around. They're very sloppy. They're not that like. That's what I like about the Lovecraftian thing is that the hybrids are not this glorious thing. They don't breed with humans and become this lovely, perfect creature monster. Instead they become these sluggish, ugly things. And they still worship it, and it's just a cool, really creepy, disturbing concept if you think about it. And so, yeah, shout out to that. Thank you for mentioning that, OCD. And check out Dagon. Anything else you'd want to say? Is there a favorite? Anything that attracts you to it, OCD?
I think just the idea of Lovecraftian being, it's a cool idea in general.
It is.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Tell me, have you seen the yellow sign?
I
You read Sutter Kane. So yeah, again, I'd want to shout out in the Mouth of Madness. Awesome horror movie. Really enjoy it. Okay, so Curtis Cat, since you're trying to act as a human today, can you shout out the next human to present their cult today?
Who hasn't presented yet?
Pretty much everyone but Jono and me.
Ah, cool. I will choose.
Forgetting about me.
Sorry? Procrastron.
Procrastitron. Like how I like to say that in
Thanks for forgetting that I hadn't gone yet.
Yes, we know that. We've got our eyes on you, buddy. Procrastitron, good choice since he's also on the other end. I like hearing his name in British. Procrastitron. It's so respectable. So authentic. Procrastitron. I like it with the European accent too. Procrastitron.
In Italian, we'd call him procrastitron.
What'd you say, Jono?
In Italian, he'd be procrastinating because for every Tron we had, except for Megatron, he says Megatron, and like Optimus Prime became Commander.
Oh boy! So you're saying Pro should be powerful? Procrastitron. Come on now, boy. It's your turn now, Procrastitron.
Pro è proprio procrastinare.
Share your cult with us, mate. Roll out your dirty sleeves. Don't be shy. What is Temtem anyway? What is this shite?
I think it's like a...
Pro, what the hell? God damn it, Pro. We need to build him a better computer, because I... What's the word? I blame his computer for him playing games like this. He should be playing Procrastitron level games. And ignoring the podcast Monstercast for that. Are you going to share Pro or not? Just let me know. So I'm not waiting for nothing. I think he's getting things ready since...
Arthur is savage.
Or too much going on. There he is, my boy. All right.
Yeah, Arthur speaks to Pro like my Arthur speaks to his horse.
That's John was so jealous. Boy. Anytime I show any kindness to Pro, he's so angry.
No. I was just pointing to the fact that Arthur in Red Dead Redemption, he has good bonding with his horse. He goes,
I see.
Yeah,
well,
you're my boy.
Procrastitron is my horse because he is Roach. You know, he gets the name Roach.
My horse is named Leslie. Arthur Leslie.
Oh, please. You just want to... That's your
And if he
imagination.
dies, the next one is going to be called Leslie 2, 3, and 4, and 5, and words.
Dio, can you kick John, please? Thank you, Dio.
No,
No.
please don't. Please don't.
All right, so Pro's talking about unitology from one of the sweetest lores in video gaming. One of them. Out of many. And unitology is from Dead Space. So let's jump into it. Unitology is a religion and an antagonist faction officially founded on the discoveries of Michael Altman. Really? So they're based on Michael Altman. Okay. Unitology just adamantly believe that the human race was created by the intelligent design of a divine alien agency and will be reunified after death in heaven through the power of a sacred artifact known as a marker. The marker. The promise of the Church of Unitology is one of transformation and rebirth. Yeah, that's one way of putting it. This scriptural message is poetic, elusive, and scientific despite their claim origins in secret research project, and embodies the abandonment of reason for the profession of unwavering faith in the promise of the marker. Much of the detail about Church's inner workings remains undisclosed to outsiders and most adherents. Did John just call me a horse? Yeah, he did.
No,
But so did I,
didn't.
Pro, because you were Roach, so, you know, you kind of called yourself a horse. It's fair, as long as you're my horse. Okay, so...
Yeah,
you break
bro,
your neck
Arthur is really going hard, bro.
and become
I'm
Boat
sure-
Collector for nothing.
I'm sure Arthur deserves Monster Elite Pink too.
And now I'm going to put down Pro for going back to Temtem. Hold on, Pro, you're not done, because I want to discuss this a little bit with you, Pro. I want to ask you something I haven't discussed yet. I think it might be worthy of a video, even. Yes, Pro. Such a richer reaction.
When is the second part of the gameplay coming? And especially when it is going to be revealed?
Would you watch?
Yes,
Yes.
but
Okay.
I asked another thing. When is that thing going to be revealed?
What thing?
You know what?
I don't know. That sounds dirty. I'm not following you. Here.
No, the thing we all been waiting for. The season 2. And I'm not talking about Adrian Last.
Oh, that's not going to be revealed because it's in yours and Pro's meme minds.
No,
We'll see.
we made a deal that I face revealed. Why didn't you?
Oh, you face revealed to the only person that's really already seen your face.
No,
right.
deal was there. Darth was too.
Thank you, Rita, for joining us today. We're talking about monster cults. We've covered a little bit of Scientology so far, as well as the cult of Mothra in the Godzilla universe. Thanks for coming. I think you didn't get the notification. That's what Raincrawler told me. Dagon, hell yeah, Raincrawler. Love it. American Spain, yeah.
I actually
Dagon is
didn't
a...
receive the notification either, so I don't know. Wrong, Arthur.
Hopefully next time it'll be better. Maybe because we were doing the tests yesterday.
Yeah, because I received one this morning that you were doing the test, and I was like, "The fuck is this?"
Mm-hmm. And then it
I
stopped.
I even wrote a comment. If you read it.
YouTube. It's like YouTube
Um,
doesn't want people to be bugged enough by their creators that they
YouTube-
actually
YouTube
subscribe
is
to.
very bad at that.
Anyway, so yeah, Dagon is a Spanish American creation. Pro's crying, so thanks a lot, Jono. You made him cry somehow.
Oh yeah, when I cry is something you all make fun. Then if
Here we
someone
go again. Hold on, let me get the music. Keep talking, Jono.
no, unless you play something like Agala.
I am.
Yes. I totally believe you. Like just like how I believe in.
Pro knows I am. Pressing enough. Okay, so all jokes aside, I don't know, that emoji's funny of Pro crying, because I could imagine Pro actually looking like that and crying like that. So Pro, question to you, since you mentioned Unitology. And again, guys, Unitology is from Dead Space, the stuff with the necromorphs, where people change into these crazy body horror zombies. So Pro, the question is, as far as Unitology, because let's put it to the source. We're all aware enough what the Brother Moons do in the end, through the markers and through themselves, is first they make the species a little bit insane, right? They make people kill themselves, they make them go crazy, homicidal, suicidal, and just nuts. And that's probably a basis of what created Scientology. Pro must love that, but no, but what created Unitology too is it created these little bit mad people that became priests. But my question is, where is the limit? Why did they not progress and keep going insane and kill each other, but actually stay orderly and form this cult? Do you think it's the Brother Moon's vast wisdom, as they do have that, I believe, that maybe created that they're playing with it, they're making them go just a little bit insane and all that, and influencing their minds, so they create this cult to influence humanity more and to get their sacrifices? Do you think it's or is it, maybe the answer is already there, is that the fact? Are the Brother Moons actually behind? Is it their scheme to create that cult to help to create more necromorphs out of humanity? And anybody can answer that, but I like that concept. And I would believe it is in the Brother Moon's intention. I do believe they're wise enough to either make you crazy enough that you're killing each other, or that you start following and influencing other people. So Pro says, the marker makes stupid people kill themselves, and the smart people see visions like the example of the markers coming. Right, okay. So in the end, it's the smart people, the stronger mental people, that form the cults. So maybe it's not necessarily their intentions, just how it works, you're saying, Pro. Just the natural run of the power of the influence. Thank you, Pro. Pro, would you like to shout out the next person to share after you're finished with your reply? Everybody okay? Doing well? Having a good Saturday? John sounds so bitter.
No, my guitar was falling down.
Oh, poor guitar.
Yeah, I saved it.
Wow, you're quite a hero, Jono. You should get a watermelon.
I should get a new rank, a new red rank.
A new rank for saving your guitaro's life. I don't know why I called it a guitaro, but now it is a guitaro. Guitaro. Okay, Pro said... Oh, he already said that. Tim, I choose Tim. Come on, Pro. By the way, for the people wondering why I'm called Arthur the Buff Organ Man, it's an inside joke here. Really spawned by Phoenix Griffin, because she was talking about how we were laughing so much during the last attempt at the Monstercast. We were laughing so much that I mentioned that we're exercising our inner muscles. So she mentioned that if we're working out our inner muscles and organs, that means our organs should be getting buffer. So then we were talking about what if our organs got so buff and muscular, what we'd look like. We'd become necromorphs. That was fun. All right, moving on. Bago, it's your turn. Pro chose you. Bago's been so ready.
Well then, I suppose I'll have to tell you all a little bit about the Church of the Broken God.
The Broken God. All right, Bago, the floor is yours. Just speak clearly.
I shall try, no promises.
Alrighty.
So the Church of the Broken God basically is all about creating ultimate order. They believe that feelings are the constructs of inferior creatures, and that we basically need to eventually reach a singularity with machines to truly create what we were always meant to be. And they follow this god that broke itself apart at one point to save us, supposedly. And by the way, this is an SCP thing.
Okay.
So at one point they tried to rebuild their god through a bunch of, because it's basically all of its bits are now anomalous items. And they found everything but the heart. They couldn't find the heart, so they decided to have a new one made. And when that happened, they actually created it. Sure, it animated the body of this powerful creature, but it didn't quite go as planned, and it wreaked havoc over a large area of land before a series of mysterious and dangerous things happened that led to it basically becoming inert enough to be contained once again. And this deity basically is at odds with another deity that his whole thing is like the opposite. Feelings and impulses are what everyone should follow, and often their influences seen in terrible, twisted manifestations of humanity. Like, there's one place, Sarcasm, that's what it is. And they've basically got over multiple realities. There's a war between these two, and our universe is basically the last one where one of them hasn't won yet, and whichever one of them wins over, with their influence spreading over this reality, will win this multiverse spreading battle, spanning battle.
It's a lot of depth.
Sorry, I don't have any of my notes for it, but Sarcasm has created such terrifying abominations as trees that grew from the bodies of humans and are made of bone and ligament and muscle and many other things as well. I wish I could elaborate more, but
it's all good. So we have a SCP-based one. Welcome, Sarah. We're talking about monster cults today. We're streaming on our Voices of the
Darth
Monsterhood
Phoenix,
channel.
Could you help me elaborate on Sarcasm and the Church of...
Yeah. Let him know. Let him know details if you need to, Bago, in the text. So this one's cool because
the flesh that hates is a bioweapon that is actually connected to Sarcasm.
so this the source of this cult, it's a little bit different because so far we've been talking about deity and fleshy ones, but this is a biomechanical one. This is a cybernetic one, right? It's almost like a cult that you'd see in the movie Matrix, you know? If I'm following this correctly, Bago. Isn't the
Yeah,
flesh.
well, I did talk about two separate ones. One of...
Cutting out. Okay, so sorry, Bog, you cut out there. So you mentioned that one, so and then you mentioned the flesh one. So what is the flesh one? What is the thing itself that they worship?
I forget what the actual being they worship is called, and their religion is just called Sarcasm.
I see. Looks like you stole
Sarcasm. Wait.
circumcision.
Did I ruin your thing with the Church of the Broken God and Sarcasm?
I'm not sure. It
I'm
looks like you
so
stole
sorry.
Darth Phoenix one.
You mix them.
Which one were you going to elaborate on more?
Yeah, which one were you going to talk about, Darth? Both? Nice. Okay, well, when we get to Darth, he can
Because
elaborate more on that.
They've got a sort of yin yang thing
Oh, I see.
going on.
Gotcha.
I wouldn't say that one is more good. One of them wants to transcend humanity and all of its and shed all the feelings and everything that we think of as making us human.
Okay.
And the other one wants to revel in all that. But they both have created great evils in their ends.
That's
to
pretty
trying
awesome.
To get to the...
Yeah. No, I love that yin yang concept. One's going completely emotionless and logic based. The other one is, like you said, reveling in that.
Which does mean that Sarcasm gatherings often have extremely grotesque things, including things that are more extreme than just even cannibalism and mutilation and murder.
I see. So, Bago, since Darth might go deeper into this, and you being our D&D...
Yeah, I'll let the rest go to Darth, honestly.
Okay. So, you being the D&D representative, I'll give you a chance to shout out a cult from D&D real quick, if you'd like.
Oh, well, that would have to be the Cult of the Dragon. Obviously.
There we go. It mentions the dragon and a cult. Well done, Bago.
Yeah. At the moment, the main thing of the Church of the Dragon worships Tiamat, but the original one actually worshipped Vecna and wanted to create a bunch of undead dragons. But now they just follow the words of an evil dragon goddess.
Cool. Sweet. So, dragon cult, dragon worshippers of D&D. Okay, we're going to proceed to Darth Phoenix, but before we do, go ahead, Darth, and get ready to share details on that. Before we do, I'd like to shout out Rita Miller's share over on YouTube. I like this one as it's reality-based. Rita said, Mithra is a genie, maybe, who was worshipped in ancient Aryan for at least 6,000 years. His cult, known as the Secret Rites of Mithra, is still being studied by archaeologists. That's awesome. I'm sure there's still followers of that cult, Rita, as secret
6,000
cults.
6,000 years?
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of the older ones. And there's probably less followers, but there's probably some still somewhere. There's some fascinating cults and secret societies if you do dig into that kind of thing. And linking to monsters and how we could discuss that. That could be very fun. I think secret society and monsters could be a subject we could cover sometime. It could be very fun and more rooted in reality and looking into our own human mythology and lores. And yeah, that could be a very fascinating one. Thank you, Rita, for just mentioning that. Okay, so Darth says the god is McCain. Overview shortly after the discovery of containment. I don't know if I want to read all this. I got work later.
I can read it.
Okay, go ahead. Thank you, by the way.
Overview. Shortly after the discovery and containment of SCP-882, several members of this church came forward and demanded the return of the Heart of God. Led by Robert Romero, they are a group of zealots, believing many SCP items to be parts of a god that was broken after the creation of the universe. By restoring it to its whole state, they will also gain godhood. Since first contact, 3 other key components of the god have also been tentatively identified: SCP-217, SCP-271, and SCP-1139. They are extremely hostile to Foundation operatives, branding them as heretics, and will attempt to kill operatives and break containment of SCP items. It is unknown how they are able to detect these items, but they have shown their ability to do so with frightening accuracy. In addition, they have shown a remarkable ability to resist the mental effects of SCP items. Notably, SCP-882 and its mental lure. The Church is viewed as a threat to both the SCP Foundation and mankind. Members are to be detained by force or eliminated by whatever means deemed necessary by Foundation agents. The god is Yaldabaoth. Overview. Sarkicism is a religious philosophical system that encompasses a variety of traditions, beliefs, and spiritual practices largely based on teachings attributed to Grand Karthist Ion. Its deified founder. Adherents practice ritual cannibalism, human sacrifice, corporal augmentation, thaumaturgy, and dimensional manipulation. Highly secretive, the general public appears to have no direct knowledge of their existence, the one exception being Cop BG, who views them as apocalyptic terms. Organic manipulation has allowed certain Sarkites to achieve anomalous states of being, transcending the physical limitations of baseline humans. Disease is viewed with reverence, and Sarkic shrines have been discovered with offerings of swollen lymph nodes and tumorous growths. Sarkic cults treat contagions as a consecration, a means to cool the weak and purify the masses, and thus actively seek to ensure their spread. The Foundation divides both Sarkic cults into two distinct strands, Proto-Sarkic and Neo-Sarkic. Proto-Sarkic cults are found in insular regions throughout Eurasia's most isolated region. Its followers generally poor, if self-reliant, and hostile towards outsiders. Such groups eschew modernity, display acute technophobia, and are bound by superstition and taboo. In contrast, Neo-Sarkic cults are I can never say that word, publicly embracing modernity and showing no apparent qualms with technology. Their public lives differing little from others of their culture and social status. Adherents are primarily affluent families rich in history and scandal. Ultimately, it is believed by the Foundation only knows a fraction of Sarkicism, a fraction of what Sarkicism is and what its followers intend. Based on the available information, the speculated goals of Sarkic cults represent an SK-class dominance shift, including the possibility of an XK-class end-of-world scenario. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much, Bago. That was well read. Beautiful work. And thank you for saving me the strength.
I don't know why I turned over to reading in an elevator voice.
Right, it was very 90s audiobook. Like it hits the output is very high in the audio, the gain. So it's the peaks are very high in the audio, but then it's very like smooth. So it's very like 90s audiobook or 80s audiobook.
It reminds me sort of like when whenever I have to go in and renew my food handler's license, they stick us in front of a video that just tells us the dangers of hand washing that has that same exact voice.
Yeah, if you hear your mic, the way your mic sounds, it has that sort of sound to it. Normally you can, with technology now you can make that filter, but that's just how it sounds. Anyway, cool. Thank you very much for reading that. What's that, JMPF?
Darth, our whole thing just came together. I introduced the base stuff, you did the more technical stuff, and then I read it.
Wow.
High five.
It's like you guys are part of the cult yourselves. Or are you? Yeah, good job on the collaboration there. Good job.
That is a very funny joke, fellow human.
Anybody have anything to add to that? It is what it is. So we got the fleshy side, or the more emotion-based and the lesser. Interesting stuff. Again, it's in the SCP universe. And that image nicely shows it.
In one of the universes, the alternate
Hello,
universes
guys.
that...
Welcome, Gargi.
Hello.
I don't Yeah, I didn't notice any Monstercast video. I was forgetting about it, but then I just remembered. But I didn't notice any Monstercast video. Are you not able to record yet?
Yeah, so, and sorry, Bago, I'll shout you out in a moment here. So what happened last week, guys, is Griffo was here, basically the Holy Trinity, or so. All the members showed up. Darkest showed up.
Sorry, I was just asking, are you not recording? Are you not able to record?
No, we're up and running now. We're live right now.
Okay.
So,
I didn't
okay.
notice the video.
I thought you were asking about last week. So that's what happened last week. For some reason, we couldn't run. It was because I was running off of a different video card, and it didn't have the right settings with OBS, the streaming software,
It was
and
because
so I couldn't get it to
previous
work.
Monstercast has been so awesome.
Yes.
YouTube couldn't handle it.
Yeah, there you go. So you guys had a break for a while. It feels like it's been a long time since we had a good Monster Cast. Well,
Because you didn't have me.
related one. But everything's running smooth now. I'd like Griffin to show up, but who knows? If she shows up, it might crash. It might be too much energy here. So anyway, that's why we
You know she
missed
is
last
here,
week.
Arthur. We all know that.
Go ahead, Bago. Finish what you were saying there.
There was actually a portal in which they found some history and worlds that had already been taken over by one of these cults or another. One of them was a place that reached technological singularity with the melding of humans and machine, eventually just reaching this higher form. Another one of them looked like a dingy, rotting, fetid sort of cosmopolitan. It's so hard to say that word still. I don't know why. But all the walls were like damp and fleshy, and instead of trains, they had giant insects that people would step inside crevices inside.
Sweet.
And the people there looked like normal humans at first, except there was no light behind their eyes, and their mouth was just full of needle-like teeth. In fact, one of them bit a researcher who went inside, and ended up getting one of the first instances of the flesh that hates, and bringing it back to our universe, if you believe
Oh,
that
I see.
particular.
Not cool. Or cool.
Yeah.
Depends if you're assimilated. Okay. Thanks.
I mean, I don't think even people who have been assimilated by the flesh that hates particularly enjoy their existence.
I see. That's one of those. So they'd rather be put out of their misery, maybe, if they were
Yeah,
aware
we're
of
talking
that.
about monstrous cults, aren't we?
Yep.
Just making sure.
This
No,
was
no,
an
no.
SCP-based one. Thanks again,
Two
Bago,
of
for
them,
sharing.
actually.
Yeah, 2 of them. And Bago,
Thank you for letting me read.
can you shout out the next person to share?
It really sounds like there's a filter to my mic. I'm gonna need to listen to the
Yeah.
video just so I can hear what I sound like.
No, JMPF said it right. He said Bog sounds like the radio demon. And again, what makes that sound? I don't know if you guys are aware of audio enough, but
Hello,
see,
girls and boys.
it's exactly like that. It's because
I am here to show you an ollie.
it's because the gain. That's why you guys, if you ever do YouTube videos, don't make your gain too high, or you get that sound. I used to do it in my old videos, actually, in my old Kadawa show videos. I had the gain really high, and it sounds terrible now and unprofessional. It's that radio voice, and basically what your voice is doing is all your sound peaks. Sound goes in a wave, is kind of peaking out at maximum, and that's why that's why you can hear everything Bago's saying, but some of it is a little rough, is because it's all hitting the peaks. When you lower the gain, you get bigger peaks and you get more loud sounds and more quiet sounds. So it's more real, but maybe sometimes hard to hear. So if you got a crappy mic, don't put your gain too high just to make it sound better, as that won't really help that much
Unless you're
and could make it worse.
specifically going for the radio voice.
Yeah. But also, it is a cool filter if you're going for that effect. And here it worked, especially when he was reading that up. That was pretty cool. Plus, Bog is coming to us from the past. He is a time traveler, so that's just what he's up to. Deal with it.
Bog's a Time Lord.
Awesome. Radio Demon is an awesome username. Radio Demon is an awesome...
Fear my tiny, limey shenanigans, please.
Pro Radio Demon is an awesome DJ name. Those Grandes. Thank you, Donde. Arthur, yeah, the bad
Radio
audio
Demon.
used to be really unprofessional during... also Arthur talking about... Okay, so Bago, who's going next?
Who hasn't gone so far?
I haven't gone.
Donde, Dio, Gargamel, JMPF, and Darkus and
Gigante,
Sarah.
Because when Gargi came in, he interrupted me.
I
Okay.
didn't mean to interrupt you.
So Gargamel, yes?
Sorry about that.
Well, I didn't mean to be interrupted.
It's all good. All jokes. Cool. Okay, Gargamel, do you have a cult that you wanted to share today?
Yes, I do.
Sweet. Let's hear it.
The Los Illuminados from Resident Evil 4.
Okay.
They're this cult that worships a parasitic insect, and it's more like, I'm not sure if it's like an alien or something. It's different than the other Resident Evil games. It's
Is
a
it the Lord of
parasite
the
of some
Flies?
sort that was what? Sorry.
I just made a joke.
Yeah, it's like this thing called the Los Plagas, and they're like a mind control parasite that controls you, and they can mutate your body and stuff. And the people have like special ones control the people who have been infected by the other ones. It's interesting, and this like cult Sadler like was like influenced by, because his like grandfather like had locked like the cult away like during medieval times, and like destroyed like this cave that their parasites were like hidden in, and then the cult leader came back eventually like much later, and sort of encouraged him and like corrupted his thinking and told him about how they would eliminate all like sin and all evil from the world, and he'd get to be like powerful and stuff and live in this like utopia if they'd only open the cave and let people in. Like they tricked like the villagers into digging up the cave, and they all got the parasites, and so that's how the villagers are now completely like mindless, like zombie like creatures, but they can use weapons. They're not like regular zombies. And during the day, the parasites cannot survive out the human host during the day. But at night, if you shoot one of their heads off, the parasite will come out and attack you.
Huh. So what does the parasite look like?
It's like a bug-like creature, giant bug creature. Let's see if I can look them up.
Yeah. If you guys can link some images of this, I'd like to see. Resident Evil cult figures and the parasite and all that. So is that what makes the zombies in Resident Evil? Is it the parasites?
No.
Depends on which Resident Evil. They all have a slightly unique sort of thing. Usually.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's the viruses in every other Resident Evil game, but Resident Evil 4, it's the parasite.
Okay, so it's kind of a face hugger looking
them.
thing.
But usually it's a virus.
I should make a video, Pro. Could a face hugger impregnate a Resident Evil parasite? Or face hugger versus Resident
Can
Evil
a facehugger
parasite
impregnate the YouTube algorithm?
versus... Wait, what did you say, Jono?
Can a facehugger impregnate the YouTube algorithm?
Oh. I you said something else. Yeah, right. Versus I forgot what they're called, the face huggers of that look like face huggers of Half-Life. Is it official? Is Half-Life coming out, the next Half-Life, or is it kind of a Half-Life partial thing?
It's a spin-off.
It's a spin-off. Is it
Or based on reality. No, it's not Half-Life 3.
So it's not officially Half-Life. Okay. But it could be good nonetheless, right?
Yeah, no, it's just not Half-Life 3. It's not with Gordon Freedom.
Okay, and is it under the same copyright, the same company, or is it a totally
it's
different?
still Valve, but it's a spin-off.
That's stupid. They don't have the guts to go full thing with the whatever.
I think it's because if they have
Yeah.
to release it will have to be
Okay.
as awesome as the first two.
Mm-hmm.
I posted a link to like a Google search on them that you guys can see information on them. You should one of the first things you should see if you click the link, be some pictures of them because I just couldn't decide what exactly to use.
Make sure you put the link in the main voice
In the-
cavern.
I think I did. Let me check.
Okay.
Oh no, I put it in the events. I'm sorry, I'll fix that.
Okay. Cool image there, Pro. I guess that's pretty cool. Necromorphic thing from Resident Evil. Some Resident Evils have
whiny shenanigans.
have Parasite 7 has mold pretty much. I see. So it's more like Halo, I guess. Sweet. Okay, Gargmel, so let's finish up on this topic of Resident Evil.
I just saw the images that were posted by there.
Mm-hmm.
The other ones, but there was more information if you look them up. There's like a castle and everything. There's like a Spanish village. And oh, by the way, if you infect it with a child with the Lost Progress, it will kill them.
Oh, okay.
They won't
It's
be
just
taken-
too strong. Mm-hmm.
It's only you have to be adult, pretty much, in order for you to survive. And that explains why there were no children in the village.
Okay. So I guess, Gargamel, so you don't know why when some of them are affected by this virus become the regular...
It's not a virus.
I mean, the parasite
It's
become
a parasite.
kind of regular Resident Evil zombies and the other ones become more aware.
No. They're
We don't-
all more aware, but they have no more free will.
Okay.
They're not regular zombies because unlike the zombies in the other Resident Evil games,
Uh-huh.
for one thing, they're not dead. They're not undead. They're
Gotcha.
still technically alive. It's just their brain has been replaced by the parasite.
Right. So it's a little
And,
bit more like the strain.
Yeah, and also they can use weapons.
Okay. A little
And they
smarter than the
also
strain.
can use the Lost Plagos to make other like mutant creatures. Like there's a creature called the El Gigante, which is a giant creature that's controlled by a Lost Plagos.
Nice. Do they commune at all? Or are they that mindless?
Yeah, they do. They have
they
some
do.
sort of, like telepathic communication of some kind. It's not exactly clear what it is.
So it might be a hive
And
mind.
if you immediately infected, you will not necessarily change and be under control immediately, but you've got to have the Los Plagos removed before it hatches and takes over your brain.
Sweet. Obviously, this came from Mexico, so watch out, guys, because
It's not in
coronavirus...
Mexico, it's in Spain.
Oh,
The
Spain.
Los Plagos
Okay.
are in Spain.
So it wasn't that
Oh, yeah.
obvious, actually. It could have been Spain, too. So watch out, guys. We got coronavirus from China, and we're getting
And
Las
it's not a
Plagas
virus,
from
it's a
Spain.
parasite.
Don't
One more
Right,
time.
don't
right.
It's
remind
not.
me of that.
But still, we're
Different.
getting a...
I think they might
Pandemic.
even be aliens, but I'm not sure.
Cool. Anybody have anything to share about that? 3, 2, 1. No? Okay, let's go to the next one. Beautiful Monsterites. Gargamel, who would you like to go next? Just shout somebody out, and I'll let you know if they already
Okay.
went.
Who hasn't gone yet? Besides before me?
Donde, Dio, JMPF, Redact, no,
I
Sarah,
think
and
what? Sorry.
the last two.
Donde, Dio.
JMPF,
I
Sarah.
think let's do Donde.
Okay. Donde, let's hear it.
All right. My choice for today will be the Gozer worshippers, or the Gozer worshippers from Ghostbusters. They're a cult of worshippers who worship Gozer the Gozerian because they believe that if Gozer destroys the world, then it can be rebuilt. So they spend their times worshiping, usually doing sacrifices and trying to pull in Gozer so that the world could be destroyed, so it could be rebuilt.
Nice.
Oh, I remember them, but they don't actually play much of a role in the actual Ghostbusters movie because by the time the Ghostbusters come around, the Gozer worshippers are pretty much gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Gozer worshippers are still around, but they just stay quiet for some time. I think the most prominent one was Evil Shandor, who was an architect and a doctor by trade. And after the First World War, he just felt like the world should just stop and be rebuilt again. So he built the apartment building. So it as a conductive antenna, I think similar to those that NASA has, just to pull in Gozer, so that she can it can enter into this world and destroy it. And
Did
this
we happen? Do we happen to like know any idea what the cultists look like if they have like a special uniform or something? Because I don't think they ever show any pictures of them in the movie.
They don't appear in the movie. They Evil Shandor does appear in the Ghostbusters the video game. He's actually the main antagonist in there. And then they pop out, I guess, once in a while in the comics. So I don't know if they're going to be a villain again in the new movie or not. But they're just sort of like the minor, but at the same time main thread of the Ghostbusters, because they are just this cult that hasn't died yet, but just stays quiet and trying to do their things.
Cool.
They're
I
also
like the. Mhm.
they're also they're really heavy into the paranormal and occult, so they're experts in that field, and they're usually good at making like high-end technology or use advanced techniques to try to pull in these things.
Sweet. I'm liking that idea of, and I'm sure there is stuff like that on in our Earth. I mean, there's probably cults or religions with this kind of theme behind it of that malevolence of destroy everything, but it's all for the rebirth. It's a very scary concept when you get a bunch of people following that, but it has that logic. It's that Thanos, I believe, right? It's similar to Thanos' approach for Marvel. So just destroy things as they are, and nature will rebuild itself, and we can balance it more from the beginning. It's a very effective,
Thanos in the Marvel
And
comics,
hence
though,
influential.
Still, it's an utopia.
motivation than in the TV.
Yeah,
in the
utopian.
movies.
It's
In the
impossible.
movies, Thanos wants to kill like half all the life and even things to be for the greater good.
Right.
In
The
the
greater
comic
good.
books, he does because he's in love with death,
Mm.
literally.
So again,
So do
I
the
like
people
this.
from
Go ahead, Jono.
no. So do the people from a tiny village in the British countryside. They all do that for the greater.
So anyway, I like those concepts in lore because it's a very big antagonist, a cult, an idea like that. And it brings up morality. And especially if in your lore or in the story in the world, it's a very corrupt, messed up world. And then you have this ideology that could really fix it, but not unless there's a big sacrifice. So it's a really interesting, epic level dilemma that's always fun to explore and see in the works. Thank you for sharing that, Donde. I didn't know about that. I know I've seen the movie and all, and the guy get impacted by the demon, or I forgot what the word is, but yeah, that was in the first Ghostbusters, right?
Yeah, that was in the
As
first
far as
Ghostbusters.
the movies, yeah.
The Ghostbusters the video game, which is actually a sequel to Ghostbusters 2. They
Nice.
continue off of it. I'm not sure of it because I haven't played the game in a long time. But
I played part of the Ghostbusters video game, so I can't really speak too much about it.
The librarian ghost in her time actually may have dated someone that was a part of the Gozer worshippers, or she was a Gozer worshipper. I don't remember about that part.
Gotcha. Okay.
The Gozer Whispers, though, I found it surprising you'd mention them only because they barely play an actual role in the actual movie because they're like only like mentioned in like passing. In the movie, at least.
Right.
I didn't remember much of the game, but I only played part of the game, so that kind of makes sense.
Cool. Yeah, it's a nice catch. Are you a bit of a fan of Ghostbusters, Donde?
It's my favorite movie. So
Oh,
that's why
sweet.
when you were doing this today, I was trying to figure out what cult to do because I didn't know any. But then I remembered that this is probably the cult.
Awesome. Cool. So we got a Ghostbusters person here that can give us more on that lore. Sweet.
I should rewatch the first.
It's great. Those movies
Then
were.
what are your thoughts
epic.
on the latest remake, Ghost?
Well, I haven't watched the remake.
I
The
think that's
newest one,
something-
right? That's not out yet.
I think that's something with that would even scare Dan.
Well, if you're talking about the one that where they had all female Ghostbusters,
Yeah.
that one wasn't the best. It wasn't as bad as some people made it out to be, in my opinion.
Well, that's good to hear.
I don't know.
I
I
think
haven't
the new
watched
one's
it.
better, but the new one, the remake with the Ghostbusters, I thought it was okay.
But there's a newer one coming up. I'm sure you guys know about.
Yeah,
Where they're
saw it,
young or
It's
something.
Ghostbusters 3. It's going to be an actual Ghostbusters 3 that's going to it's going to be that they somehow, I think it takes place nowadays,
Yeah.
and it's somehow like the Ghostbusters in the original two movies were canon, but now they're like new Ghostbusters are coming back or something. I'm not sure it's going to work because at least some of the cast are dead of the original series.
Right.
Well, not the original series, the original two
Seems so.
movies.
All right, guys, let's move along. Let's see. I think it was Dating Worshiper. Okay, so let me see. YouTube comments. I wanted to shout something out that Raincrawler said. The cult. Raincrawler mentioned the cult in the movie. What was the name of the movie? The Silent? No. The one with the Vesps. And I made a video.
Yeah,
About the Vesps.
silence.
That was
I
the
remember
Silence.
that.
Okay.
Damn, you are through. I watched that movie because you were talking about it, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna check it out. And after that, I was like, okay, this is shit.
Yeah. Well, it's watchable, but I didn't mention it because it's great. I just wanted to cover the Vesps, right?
Yeah,
It's all about the monster.
Yeah, not bad, but
Yeah.
either,
The monster idea is
Right.
cool. Of course, it's easier to deal with than the other ones from the movie. The other movie that they copied.
Yeah,
but-
the Quiet Place. Because in A Quiet Place, I was thinking about actually, I was the other day, because the monsters in Quiet Place actually are more of a threat. They are
right. Much more.
resistant, They are, yeah. Well, the monsters from Silence are basically just bats. I don't know how can those things be dangerous since he basically the scene where he goes with the wood chopping thing, he kills like a whole bunch of them. That's like, bruh, that's the solution to the entire movie.
Well, I could see them being dangerous. I mean, there's even that old horror movie, The Birds,
Bird
but these
Box.
obviously are more dangerous than a regular bird. So in numbers, yeah, I can definitely see them being threatening. I do like that idea. As you look at, prehistoric creatures, you had a lot of little ones that were dangerous in large numbers, like ants today.
Mhm.
So I do like that concept, but they're not near as dangerous as the ones in Quiet Place. The Quiet Place ones were, more fantastic level of dangerous.
Yeah,
So-
but it's still, I still think that okay, it was to for just for a plot reason, but also I think that those in a Quiet Place are kind of in a real situation they will kind of
No, that was
yeah.
more.
Yeah, I mean, I see it's difficult for something like that to wipe out humanity.
The addition of the cult in the movie is a nice add because the movie would be too simple and copyish and not original without it. So the cult was a nice little addition they did. I'm not sure exactly what and how they worshipped it.
No, I think I don't remember much of it. Also because 10 minutes screen time, they don't worship the monsters, but they basically learn how to live together with it. But
Yeah, I
just
think they
by,
wanted to
counting-
sacrifice.
Well, it wasn't the Quiet Place that I don't think it was the Quiet Place that did that. There was some other film that had there was no cult in the Quiet Place.
No, we're talking
No,
about
no.
the silence.
Oh,
It
the
was
silence.
Bird.
Yeah, I
It
think
was
I
Bird
saw
Box
that. If I
also.
remember that cult, they were more like a group of fundamentalist Christians who thought that the silent creatures had been sent by God to punish humanity.
Right.
No,
To
that's
cleanse us, yeah.
That's also the mist.
Right, a little bit of the mist, yep. So they're both Lovecraftian inspired, kind of like Raincrawler said, actually, both of those writings. So nice catch there, Raincrawler. Yeah, and that's kind of what they did. So it was a cleansing. So I don't remember if they wanted him to sacrifice the girl or something. I know there was something like that. I don't remember.
No, I think it was they wanted the girl to procreate. That doesn't
Yes,
even
to
have
breed.
sense.
Yeah,
Something. Also, it's funny that both The Silence and Bird Box, both made by Netflix, deal basically about the same thing: a monster that is
Yeah.
very sensitive, one of our five senses, and that also has a cult in it.
Yep.
And I don't even know what's worse. I think Bird Box because it has Sarah Jessica Parker in it. Not Sarah, Sandra.
Yeah, what's her name? Sandra Bullock.
I hate Sandra Bullock.
Well, she likes baby foreskins, so be nice, okay? Well, either way, I like the concepts. I like to even. I mean, there's still better movies than a lot of crap horror movies.
Yeah.
There's still a lot more fun to watch because the concept is intriguing. I mean, we got to be honest. We watch them for a reason, and then we complain about them. But there's a reason we watch,
Yeah,
and so there's a reason to
maybe,
make them because they make money. It's a simple
Yeah,
concept. It's cheap to make, and it makes money.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win sort
Yeah,
of.
one of my favorite time wasters was staying up all night watching crappy horror movies on TV because
Sweet.
we had Sky. I don't know if you have
fun.
Sky abroad. I don't know. It was basically before Netflix, and there was this channel that basically, especially in summer, broadcasted all sorts of asylum movies like Mega Piranha or Mega Shark vs. Giant. They were basically my day. Spent days watching that shit.
Yes,
So,
Rita,
yeah.
poor Thanos. Well, good job. Keep
I think
watching
I-
them.
I
There's
think
some
I
hidden
watched
gems.
Piranha 3D more times. I watched a Clockwork Orange. So yeah.
What, Pro? I didn't say anything weird, bro. I don't know what you're talking about. Pro, do you want to get kicked? You're talking about weird stuff like that here? I don't know.
Yeah,
I've had about
Arthur just
up to my
needs-
neck with you,
Arthur
Pro.
just say the word.
Jono's so ready. He's so ready. He's had
No,
his finger on the button the whole time. He's had you
I don't
right-clicked.
I don't want to get rid of Pro, my good friend.
Oh, you know he'll come back. That's why you want to do it.
But then
Oh, I forgot
he
to
won't
mention.
he won't
Sorry, I
have
wanted to-
Undertaker and aging Rock Troll anymore if he leaves or if he gets kicked.
Gargamel,
Arthur?
what did you say? You forgot to mention?
I was saying that there's something I forgot to mention before I go. I do, if I have time, I have a suggestion for what we could do next week because I don't think we've done this before, and I had an idea because I was inspired because I ended up watching a bunch of videos on world creation.
Okay. Go ahead and mention
But
it.
it's not going to be about world creation per se. My idea was maybe one of these days we could do a video on not video a Monstercast on monstrous worlds. Like for example, we could talk about like the Predator homeworld, or we could like for example an alien's homeworld, or
Yeah, that's a
world
good one.
that includes a lot of monsters.
Yep.
Where we'd be focusing instead on the different fantasy and sci-fi worlds
Yep.
that include monsters.
No, that's a good one. I feel like we should have done that a long time ago. So I got it down, Gargamel. I will mention it when we're doing the voting. Thank you.
Okay.
Sweet. Okay, that was who was the last person sharing? Was it Gargamel? No, Gargamel shouted out Donde, and Donde.
I remember Donde sharing, and then someone else.
Okay, so Donde, it's your turn to shout out the next person. Choose either from Dio, JMPF. Sarah might not have something, but we can check. And Darkus, the Observer.
I will pick Darkus.
Darkus Malarkus. I don't have anything. Good. All right. Well, I'm just happy you're here, Darkus, and I'm happy you're not speaking because if you would, this monster cast would drop to the ground again. Be too much energy. But I'm glad you're here, and I know you're tired. You have crazy sleeping hours, and those puppies are keeping you up. So just happy you're here. So in Darkus's place, I'm gonna shout out Louie's share. Louie's not here, but he already sent me his stuff early. Let me post his stuff real quick from Facebook. Let me see. Louie. Brother Louie. He's going to a party today or something, so he couldn't be here, but Louie would be here if he could, and he always shares his stuff ahead of time. He's always prepared. We appreciate that very much. I think his might have been already shared. Let me paste this. What's your name, Bago? How's your voice?
My voice
Is it good? Would you mind reading this?
not at all. Just let me readjust myself first. Had to find the place where it was.
It's the Las Plagas
Monstercast.
cult again.
Is it the one right in main voice cavern?
Yeah. You can just read the first one, the first paragraph, because we already talked about this.
For the Monstercast, I bring in the cult of Los Illuminados. From Resident Evil 4, the cult is led by Osmond Sadler, above pick, and his generals, Torres Mendez and Ramon Salazar. The whole cult worships a parasite called Las Plagas. I know that I'm butchering these names. These parasites are mutagenic in nature and will twist the host's body to adapt to its environment if necessary. The parasite originally entered the body via spore form, but experiments changed its nature to be injected via syringe into the bloodstream to grow faster than it normally would. All Illuminados carry higher forms of the Plaga, and their leaders carry the Alpha Plagas. The lower class hosts are called Ganados, or cattle. There was also a militia of men controlled by the parasites who guarded Sadler himself. If the host was attacked fatally, but the Plaga survived, the Plaga would erupt out of the body in various forms. You didn't want me to read the other part?
No, I think it's fine. I think we'll keep moving forward. We've been live for an hour, 40 minutes over, so... Cool, thank you for that, Bago. So again, the Las Plagas and the Parasite from Resident Evil 4. And here's some more images. There's the Parasite again. Okay, I guess I'll mention the next person to share. Well, no, Darkus. Darkus, do you want to shout out the next person if you're awake enough? You can choose from Dio, JMPF, Sarah. Thank you guys over on YouTube for sharing stuff as well. Whenever you guys do that, I'll just try to share it as soon as possible so it doesn't get lost. How's our stream going? Everything's good. It's a quiet stream today. I have no idea. JMPF maybe? Okay, JMPF, your turn. He's gonna have something good. Let's see if he's got something SCP related. Ooh, I think he does. Yep. Nephron Ka.
Yeah, I get to read it.
Okay, go ahead. Sweet, we got a reader.
I'm gonna have to change my name from redacted to...
Yes, we're gonna give you a new rank. Something.
Nephron Ka, the Black
Also,
Pharaoh.
can I
And
read?
the same Pharaoh.
Jono, no. Go ahead. Sorry, Bago.
I will unleash various SCP. Nephron Ka, the Black Pharaoh, an insane pharaoh who secured the shining trapezohedron. Yep.
Yeah.
for Egypt, but after being convinced by the resident haunter of the dark, he had a lightless temple created to hold the stone and the deity within. That temple became a center for abominable happenings and rites carried out which were so monstrous the temple was destroyed, and the pharaoh's name was struck from all records and monuments. The pharaoh was controlled by the cruel god Nara, Naro,
Good luck.
Naralathotep.
Architect, I think.
What did you say?
I think it's Naralathotep, because I didn't say it that way.
Nyarlathotep, of whom the haunter of the dark was likely an avatar.
I think everybody
But
should take
depicted-
turns saying that name.
Nyarlathotep.
Nyarlathotep. Okay.
No Gigante.
Where is this from? This doesn't seem like totally from history. The names are, but the lore isn't. Where is this from, JMPF?
Lovecraft.
Oh, it's Lovecraft.
Yes.
Sweet. Thank you, JMPF.
That
We can't
explains
get
why
enough.
I had trouble with the name.
Right.
Nothing like some word salad with Lovecraft names.
Yeah.
To
I should
get
do a
ya.
video on just Lovecraft pronunciations. Let's see. So the Black
Some
Pharaoh.
can't be pronounced the way they're spelled.
What's that, Darkus?
It can't be pronounced the way it's spelled. I think Cthulhu cannot be pronounced the way it's actually spelled. It's just
Right.
close
Right.
as you can get.
I think it's Lovecraft. I've
Cthulhu
always
shouldn't
pronounced
be.
it like-
Can't be actually said with human tongue. I think the closest is like, I forgot. It's I forgot. I saw a video on it before, but there's more "huh" sounds to it. Fair enough. You can't see him. You can't picture him in your mind. You can't pronounce his name. It all at least makes some sort of sense. Thank you for being back, Donde. It's better than you being front. Yep, Lovecraftian. Cool. So it's an Egyptian one. I love that Cthulhu went all over the world. Damn it! So JMPF, which novel or story is this? More story. Which one is this mentioned in? Where can I find this lore?
The Hunter of the Dark.
Say again.
The Hunter of the Dark.
The Hunter of the Dark. And is that a short story?
Yes, it's written as an article on a newspaper.
Oh, sweet. Awesome. I'm going to get a book eventually of all those short stories. And guys, if you want to watch the short stories actually played out, again, Blue Worm, the guy that collaborated with me for the art contest, he makes a lot of those short stories in physical form on YouTube. Lovely with stop motion animation. Stop motion. So shout out to him again, especially with Lovecraft short story stuff. Beautiful. Thank you. I'll dig deeper into that. So Nyarlathotep, the cruel god that controlled him. But Nyarlathotep, I believe, is still Egyptian. That's not Lovecraftian. So who's controlling Nyarlathotep? Unless I'm confusing.
Step is not Egyptian. It's some kind
That's
of Lovecraftian thing.
Oh, it is Lovecraftian. Damn. So he just used an Egyptian-like
videos
name.
on it versus other things. It's not anywhere. It's more like Cthulhu than anything else.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that's what it looks like here, but it looks like he just borrowed themes of Egyptian names with the Hotep part. Cool. Okay, JMPF, thanks for sharing. Can you shout out the next person, which I think is either... Who is it? Dio or Sarah? Not sure if they have anything. And Sarah, I think, left. Okay.
Sarah's gone.
Yeah, I think they were afraid I'd call them. But they're always welcome to say they're not ready. JMPF, the Lovecraftian librarian. Yes, Raincrawler. I think JMPF is becoming our our cryptid and Lovecraftian man. So right on. I need to make ranks for these expert people here. Calm down, John. Calm down. Don't choke.
I am expert in various things. One is the
Yes, and dropping guitaros. Theo, your turn, and then we'll wrap it up. Sweet. Theo's been ready the whole time. I like to see that. That deserves a watermelon too. Well, James PS. Everybody deserves one then. Okay, fine. I'll give one to Champ PF too. Okay, so Dio said, you want to read it, Bago, quickly?
Of the Jashin from Naruto are a cult who believes in the god called Lord Jashin, demon of fear. Jashin wishes utterly death and destruction to everyone who doesn't follow him. They are human, but after using a special technique which grants the user immortality, the skin gets a skeleton-like appearance, and some of the cult look kind of monstrous. You need to make a circle around yourself and you have to stand in it the whole time or it doesn't work. If you get stabbed or shot, nothing happens, and the user finds pleasure in it. I even believe it can transfer pain as well, but I'm not sure right now.
Sounds pretty wild. Sounds like something we should do as a group. Okay, so they believe in a god called Lord Jashin, demon of fear. Of course, fearful gods are the best to follow, right? Sarcasm. So, thank you for sharing that, Dio, and thank you for sharing something from anime and from Japan. You are our anime-ish boy. Let's keep it that way. What is the thing on the demon? Yeah, this is the demon. Dio, what is the thing on the demon's forehead? Is that an eye? Is that some kind of power thing? Do you know? Are you awake enough to tell us? Checking YouTube comments. All good. Dio's answering. And guys, we're going to run our last ideas. I have Gargamel's. Gargamel's still here, so that's good to see. And you guys come up with ideas for our next Monstercast, and then we'll wrap it up. These Monstercasts are every about 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, every Saturday. I would like to shout out the one I had in mind. I did mention Scientology. That was just spur of the moment. But the one I thought somebody would mention, particularly Chris or C, more so Chris, which Pro guessed it, of course, are
Be
the...
careful when talking about real world religions, though, because there's not only the issue of, people being offended, there's the issue of if we get something wrong, that could be kind of harmful because we don't want to spread like misinformation or anything.
True. No, I mentioned Scientology because of the alien that is part of in their worship. Not calling them necessarily a cult right away, but it did seem relevant for today's discussion, so I did want to shout that out because I did find that honestly interesting. Not offended.
Well, you do consider gods to be monsters in your lexicon, so
True.
pretty much every religion that, by your definition, worships a monster.
True, but they're not
It's not that
necessarily
strange,
cultish.
but- Yeah.
Yeah. So, who's heading off? Sia Shelves. Oh, Shelves, if you want to mention something, go ahead before you go. Some cult. But the one I wanted to mention, stay prosperous, my friend. I saw that creature behind him also for the first time. I guess it's Jashin, though. Yeah. So you don't know what that is, I guess. By the way, here's the symbol. Okay. So you don't know what that is on his forehead, Dio, I assume. It's just something cool that demons have. Okay. So the one I wanted to mention, and Pro guessed it, is of course the cult, Gene Stealer cultists of 40k, because I am a fan of the Tyranids. That's my army of choice for 40k usually. And they have the Gene Stealer cults, and I never got into them. I don't play enough. I don't read on it enough. I'd like to. I know Chris explained some things about it to me in the past. I don't remember too much now. But it's the general questions I always have is, how aware are Tyranids of this cult creation? What is their ultimate scheme of creating the cult, and what is it? And can you play it together with the army when you play on tabletop? So anyway, Gene Stealer cults is what I'd like to shout out. And considering how Gene Stealers are a very assimilative race and species, it totally makes sense that there would be a cult and a cult of hybrids, just like in the Lovecraftian mythos and the other ones, some of the other ones we've mentioned. So shout out to those. If you guys have any details on Gene Stealer cults, shout it out now. If you don't know much, then don't forever hold your peace.
All I know is what I've heard from some people who make videos on Warhammer 40k, and that's basically that they primarily distract people so when gene stealers actually invade, it's much easier for them to operate, and they want them less resistant.
Right. Which again makes sense. I mean, you have a race that wants to ultimately take over and reproduce, and so they create this hybrid, and they're intelligent enough and self-aware of a race. At least the epic ones in the race are, like the Brother Moons of Necromorphs. That's why I thought they would be aware enough to create or help create these sort of cults to help push their prosperity of their own race and genetics. So I think the Tyranids would possibly be even more maybe aware than the Brother Moons, rather than it just being something that happens. Like when me and Pro were talking, I think they, in that universe being as epic as it is, I would think that the Tyranids are a bit more evolved and conscious of what their doings are, and with the cult like that too. It's not just something that's created and they're ignoring it because they see their genetics. I think they're a bit more aware and have maybe more of a plan behind it. Maybe. But they're, because Tyranids are still very animalistic, so it could just be something that's very genetic and not too self-conscious and realizing.
It does sound like something that would be genetically engineered, though, so that makes it sound more like some intelligent man, because it doesn't seem like
exactly
something that would have naturally.
I mean, it seems like it could be.
Warhammer 40k is sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
It's good.
I was gonna say that Warhammer 40k is like sci-fi fantasy, so maybe it could have in that universe.
Right. Yeah, I could see it being either way, and either way being just as effective. Like I could see it how Gargamel's saying like it's engineered, but even by the Tyranids themselves, because you have the powerful minds in Tyranid society of biology, so they could become that conscious and adapted enough to say, you know what, let's mix in with this race so they can help, better help us assimilate them. Like consciously think that and do that. Or I could also see it being them not totally aware of the ultimate plan of it, but genetically, because of how fast they evolve, their own genes start to evolve and adapt in a way that assimilates things halfway to better overcome. So more of an ultimate natural awareness of it rather than a lower level micro awareness of it within the race, if that makes any sense. So I could see it both ways, Yeah, fascinating stuff. And who said that in the comments? Raincrawler said Xeno, the god of Scientology. Yeah, that alien's name is Xenu. If you guys search XENU, you will see that's actually an alien that's within Scientology. Again, interesting. I find that very interesting, and yeah, even logical in some aspects more than some other beliefs. But yeah, that deeper discussion is for another day, but shout out to that. Me listens to Arthur and also falls asleep. Also me gets his ears blown off by Gargamel. All right. Well, I'm glad I could put you to sleep, Dio, and that Gargamel can wake you back up. Me and Gargamel are a yin-yang force that works together to make these things happen. All right, guys. Any shout out? Any favorite of the cults mentioned today? Anything that struck you that you didn't know about that you enjoyed?
I forgot to mention a very evil cult that has been going around for years, worshipping a very strange creature. Many people have died due to this. Very, very evil, yet still this big influence. And of course, I'm talking about the Catholic Church.
Please don't say the Catholic. Okay, I know you guys, you might have criticisms of religion, but I really think that we should leave criticisms of real life religion out of this right now. I'm a former Catholic myself. Now, I don't particularly hate the church, but here's the thing. If I was still a Catholic, I'd be very offended, and this would not be something that I would really like to do. And we'd probably get into a heated argument right now.
Right.
So let's not bring up real world religions.
Well, I have nothing against.
I'm still Catholic.
I have nothing against people who believe in something. I mean, that's your own choice. What I am against is um,
Well, okay, let me.
organized, especially people
Yeah.
forcing your beliefs.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand that.
Yeah.
It just we should still be a little careful when we're talking because it's something that politics and religion are something that tend to be incredibly divisive.
They can, and different, and it's very subjective. That's another big point of it, because we have people that are religious here and are not in the monsterhood here, and they're equally respectable and intelligent and approachable
I
people.
understand that.
So
But
we
religion
can
there's no way to talk about a real world religion.
Yeah.
Unless you're just saying the facts about it. Once you state your opinion, there's gonna be some controversy.
Yeah. So we can wrap or conclude that, and we can all agree that all these religions or non-religions have been the cause of deaths in the past and the cause of good in the past.
People have, just look at communism, for example. You've had now you
exactly.
have people who would argue that that's not the true communism. I don't care.
Yeah.
Stalin still believed that what he was doing was being a good communist, even though he was responsible for the death of innocent people. But
absolutely,
it's you can still criticize him and criticize the belief, and you can still find people who would be communists who would never endorse what Stalin did.
Well, yeah, I am a Marxist / Leninist. Of course, I totally oppose Stalinism, totalitarianism. Of course, yeah, that's what happens when you bring your idea to an extremism.
Yeah, and remember also with. Not saying that Jono brought that up because of that, but there is a lot of anger in the topic from different sides. And what anger can do is it can also put you in the other side in a blinded way and into different indoctrinations that you see as truth, but you become so blinded that you become also closed to other points of view or even deeper things that you yourself believe in. So don't give in to anger, fear, all that.
Excuses for every bad thing, or you ignore every bad thing. People who shared at least the main thrust of your belief system, did.
But I'm glad what this got brought up, and it's a good ending to our discussion, and it's a great part of cults and mythology and all these stories that we get into and monster related stuff, because it's all a part of it. It's all a part of life, and it's all psychological too, why these things get created and what is the basis of it. And that's the funnest, for me, the best discussion in all this.
I mean, I still think that we create
There's a
such
YouTube
things
channel that I'm trying to remember the name of that talks about what makes a cult as opposed to a religion, and I can't remember the name of them, but it would be cool to give them a shout out. Their channel's a bit more popular than this one, I think. But
all right, guys, let's vote. Sorry, Bago. Didn't want to interrupt, just got distracted. Let's vote because people are getting sleepy here. It's time for bed for a lot of folks here. And they're dropping off, so let's at least have them vote so we don't need tiebreakers later, as that takes another Monstercast length of time. If we are over 2 hours now, no better time than now. Gargamel mentioned Monster Worlds, so that's one of the votes. I'm going to mention nostalgic monsters. And what I mean by that is not childhood monsters, we already did that, but something that brings up a lot of nostalgic feeling. It might be more of the game or movie based, but it certainly has something, maybe a monster involved, and that's what we're looking forward to mentioning, how that works together.
So something like Stranger Things, basically, because that might remind a lot of people of the 80s.
Sure. If you can explain how it's nostalgic to you and monstrous, then it's relevant in my book. So, Monster Worlds, nostalgic monsters. What else do you guys have to offer that you'd want us to talk about? Pro says...
Crazy frog monsters.
Unique...
What did you say? Sorry. Didn't hear you, John.
Crazy frog monsters.
Crazy frog monster.
I could like that.
Okay,
We got
we
the
can-
kappa.
If you can think of, yeah, and I just watched the video from AJ Pickett on a type of frog humanoid creatures in Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh yeah, those
Dungeons
very
and Dragons.
simple one. Those are cool.
There's
amphibian
multiple
monsters.
types of humanoid frog creatures in Dungeons and Dragons.
Have we already done amphibian
um,
monsters yet?
Imprisoned monsters.
Imprisoned monsters. You want that? That's a good one. Ooh.
Arturo.
I'm just gonna come out and say it. I love humanoid frog monsters. But I just love just about any animal humanoid thing. But
Keep it
I'm
in
just
your
gonna
pants.
say it anyway. I will
Have
keep my
we-
frog in my pants. What's
Have
that,
we
Jono?
already done amphibious monsters?
Amphibious, I believe we did do something like that. JMPF, do you recall? You are my librarian. Ooh, a librarian rank for JMPF. That's gonna get Jono's panties in a bunch.
Ah,
I don't remember if it
you really like to
happened.
tease me off, right?
What did you
If it
say,
did,
JMPF?
was something- I can't recall it. If it was in Twitch.
I like the one where we did about adaptations that we would like to have or monstrous mods. Do you remember, Pro, if we did a amphibious one? Amphibious monsters? So water land creatures? With the frog lady. I gotta go. I vote. Thank you for voting before you left. He already left. But cool.
I don't remember. It sounds familiar, but I don't know if we did amphibious monster.
Okay, so we got these. We got Monster Worlds, Nostalgic
if we
Monsters, Unique
If
Monster...
we didn't, I vote for amphibious. If we did, then I vote
Then you vote for what?
Okay. If we didn't do amphibious monsters, then I vote for that. But if we did, then I vote for nostalgic monsters.
So you don't vote for Crazy Frog Monsters?
No, that was a joke, Arthur.
Damn it. No, I like weird little suggestions like that. It's fun.
No, I
it
just
makes
wanted to
the
talk
search
about
difficult.
Crazy Frog song. You know, the
I'm gonna keep it. Okay, so guys, listen up. We got Monster Worlds, Nostalgic Monsters, Unique Monster Transformations or Power-Ups, Crazy Frog Monsters, and Imprisoned Monsters. Okay, so let's look at the vote. Curtis, OCD, what do you vote? Moment of silence for Super OCD. And she's silent. I think she's given up. She's fallen asleep, maybe. Well, if you hear us, Super OCD, chime in anytime. Donde, what do you vote for?
What's nostalgic monsters mean?
So some monster that just gives you a feeling of nostalgia. When you think about that, you just remember that. Maybe it's from a specific cartoon, but you get those feels a lot with it. Or maybe that game, but it's because of those monsters or that movie. I have a few I was thinking about that last night. Usually it's more because of the experience, the movie or game, but there's usually some monster, or there could be some monster. Like State Puff Marshmallow guy from Ghostbusters. That's very nostalgic, and Slimer. That's very nostalgic. And of course the theme song is nostalgic for me, but those things were quite. But there's many others, so yeah, something like that. It gives you great feelings of nostalgia, positive feelings of nostalgia, those good vibes, those soft, warm feels of nostalgia.
Okay.
Unique monster. Okay, so what do you vote for, Donde?
I think I will go for Monster Worlds.
Cool, Monster Worlds. Okay. So one for Monster Worlds.
Monster World.
So those are worlds that a lot of monsters come from, that spawn a lot of them or are known for it or are very monstrous.
Yeah,
in a sense.
those are like worlds that include a lot of different monsters. Either a lot of monsters, or it's like say a homeworld from science fiction, like say the Predator homeworld or
Yeah.
Klingon homeworld
Yeah.
or the Xenomorph homeworld.
Yep.
Or
Venom, symbiote from
or it's-
Homeworld.
or it's maybe the
Or
Elder
maybe
Scrolls world, like the Tamriel, because it includes a lot of
the world,
magical
yeah.
creatures and stuff, or maybe like the Dungeons and Dragons.
There you
the
go.
world where all the monsters
Forgotten
come from in
Realms.
the Witcher universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Darth Phoenix, what do you vote for? Imprisoned monsters. So that's I am. I'm writing these down so I don't prolong this. Dio votes for. What does Dio vote for? Let me say some random monster topic. Dio, did you vote? Can you vote, Dio, please, before you sleep? Those feels when I see him. What are you talking about? See who? What feels do you get? What's going on, Dio? Gargamel, what do you vote for? What do you vote for, Dio? Gargamel, do you vote for Monster Worlds? I'll just take Gargamel as one for Monster Worlds since he mentioned it. JMPF?
Yeah, I still haven't really changed my mind on that one, so you might as well put me down.
Okay, cool. Nostalgic or imprisoned, so Dio's kind of halfway on either. Let's go with JMPF. What did you vote? You wrote imprisoned. Okay, that's another for imprisoned, so that's 2 and 2. We got a tie. John Hamm, you voted for what again?
Told you, amphibious monsters do it, or nostalgic monsters.
Nostalgic. Okay. NM. All right, going on to Pro. Okay, so Dio voted imprisoned. Okay, so that's another one for imprisoned. Imprisoned is in the lead. Good suggestion there. Pro voted imprisoned. Okay, so that's one more. Looks like that's gonna win. Darkest, what do you vote for? Monster Worlds is Monster Worlds. Okay, so that's 3 there. All right, guys. So we got 1 vote for nostalgic monsters. We'll say 2 votes. That's what I'll vote for. We have 3 votes for Monster Worlds, and we have 4 votes for imprisoned monsters. What does that mean? They're imprisoned monsters. That's all we know of them. They've always been imprisoned. Let's leave it at that for now. They're imprisoned for some reason. Or we just always see them in the lore as imprisoned. We'll see. It's probably going to be a tricky one, so there's going to be some leeway. Any questions? Everybody doing good? Everybody hungry?
You sure are.
And
He likes to
Rita
feed on us.
Miller mentioned imprisoned monsters as well, so that's a big win for imprisoned. Thanks for voting, Rita. And sorry, Rain, it doesn't matter what you vote for now. Oh, you voted nostalgic. Thank you, but that's 3 against 3, so that's a tie. So imprisoned wins. Cool, guys. So thanks for sticking around, especially you guys in the other part of the world. We'll do our next Monstercast probably here again, same time, same place. Stay tuned for Donde's next Creature Maker Creator Challenge for next month. If you didn't see the conclusion of this month's The Love Monsters, it was at the beginning of this episode, so rewatch it. You shall enjoy it. We had 3 submissions, so it's not too much of your time, but you can really enjoy there were some awesome creations. All right, guys. Thank you. Until next time, stay monstrous, my friends. Go ahead and say your last words, guys. If anybody can say the goodbye on behalf of Chris and
I'm
Victor?
somewhat disappointed my suggestion didn't win. Imprisoned monsters, I think, will also be interesting. I'm looking forward to that.
Indeed.
And I hope to see you guys next time.
For
Everyone,
sure.
you have a wonderful week.
You too, Gargamel. Thank you.
And stay safe from the stay away from coronavirus if possible. Take every precaution you can.
Stop drinking Corona. It's overrated. Find some other kind of beer.
You know, it is a myth that people have been mistaken that for the virus. Thankfully, that is a myth.
I'm gonna look at your ranks, Dio, now. I guess I'll say bye on behalf of Chris and Victor. Chris would say, well, first Victor would say, don't be afraid of the unknown, study it and understand it, along those lines. And Chris would say, fear the unknown, blow up its head with a shotgun. Here we go. Till next time, guys. And bye over on YouTube. Rita, Brain.
Frederick William Nietzsche used to say in his most dark moments, you were that when fighting Hogan, yet yourself do not become a Hogan. For when you gaze long into the Hogan is also into you.
Give a hug to Hog'em.